there's my secret. And I do not want to make it readable here. So, because otherwise, if I would view a run of my logic app, my secret would still be available somewhere. And I do not want that. So there's some new feature that was just announced, I believe, yesterday. Let's see if we can use that to obfuscate it. Yeah, so it should be somewhere in here. To control access to the inputs and outputs. In your logic app's run history, you have these options. Hide inputs and outputs in run history by using obfuscation. Okay. The trigger action where you want to secure data, select the ellipsis button, then select settings. Then on either secure input, secure outputs, or both, when you're finished, select done. It shows a lock item in the title bar. Tokens that represent secure outputs from previous actions also show a lock. Example, when you select such an output, then save an action that token shows a lock. Nice. Alright, let's see if it works with the HTTP connector. First, let's rename this puppy. Get a pass token. Then on the settings, you should be able to secure the outputs in this case. I'm not that interested in the inputs. But save. Cool, there's the lock icon. And what if we were to rerun? Can we see the outputs? No, we cannot. So there we go. So it will obfuscate or remove all the outputs information. So it's not possible to just limit it to a single value. So if you enable this, all the outputs will be removed altogether, versus the authorization, I believe. I don't see it here. If you have an authorization header in your HTTP request, it will just obfuscate your authentication header, and everything else will be readable. So it's a trade-off, but we may be able to work around this. But we must be very careful where we use this value, because otherwise we might still be showing it somewhere. Because I want to take the token here, and I believe it came down from the value. So I think we need to do body from the get plus token, and property was named value. we're probably now gonna expose it anyway, or we need to set this to the same security. Let's see how that works. So here's that run. Ah, nice. So it understands if I've disabled this, if I prevented this as an output, if I'm using anything from that in subsequent actions, it will hide it there as well. So that's nice. That's cool. Very cool. Oh, this is, for example, what I meant with the authorization header. Here you see that it is sanitized. I was hoping it would work in a similar way so that we could see all the other properties, with the exception of one or more properties that I want to explicitly sanitize. It doesn't appear to work that way, unfortunately, but maybe that's something that we can give as feedback to the team. Hopefully they can work that in, because now it's very difficult to understand what's going on here if something else fails. So now we are an authorized, so let's now change it to use the actual token instead of the dummy value that I entered, which means that I would probably also get a new version here with a new address. So right, so value of the secret, I'm getting that from my password manager, pasting it in here. Buoy. So now we have this version. Need to copy that URL. Obviously you can figure out ways to get always the latest version, but now we're just gonna use a targeted version. All right. Saving. Let's see what happens now. I'm gonna resubmit this. I would expect it to work now, but oh yeah, nice. So now it's getting the token from Key Vault. It's still initializing this variable. We can skip this step if we would like to, but and then it's used here in the authorization, but it's sanitized automatically by Logic Apps. So we can now call this API with a token, but not show it anywhere on screen if we don't want to. And that's cool. That's very cool.